welcome to Dig Deeper with me, Malice, and I'm joined once again by the ever fabulous Katie Underwood. Thank you for joining us, Katie.
Thank you.
So, we were talking last time about Popstars a little bit, and I'm sorry to harp on about it, but you know, it was a big part of my life at the time.
Has to be done.
So, are you still friends with the Bardot girls at all?
Not particularly.
No, interesting. This is interesting.
No, it's not that it's not that we're not friends.
Yeah.
We're just, we live in different states.
Yeah,
13 years have passed.
different circles.
So we're in loose contact.
Yeah.
Except for Sophie, I haven't had any contact with Sophie since she went to LA. But
Yeah, right.
but with the others, I'm in loose contact via
so
Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, right.
Yeah, but that's really the sort of the extent of it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Good. So during Popstars, I was reading you couldn't walk down the street without like a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And then you were set to star in a production of Hair, which unfortunately went under before it started. Can you talk about your life at that point a little bit?
Yeah. So it was pre-Hair. It was the difficult decision to leave the band.
Yeah.
In short, I was made an offer I couldn't refuse, and life in the band was becoming more difficult for me. The internal politics were getting a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I wasn't being appreciated at that time. So I thought I may as well leave and, make a couple of grand a night at some huge arena show, which was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But that fell in a heap. So I had a bit of a tough run. But it was interesting. I remember that the day that I got the news the musical had been cancelled was a Tuesday, and I woke up Wednesday morning and there was a message on my phone from the producer of the panel then, which was happening.
Yeah.
And he left this. It was Michael Hirsch left this lovely message and said, "When one door closes, another will open.
Oh,
Katie,
nice.
we believe in you. We'd love to have you on the show and have a chat." And it literally got me out of bed because I was just prepared to hide in bed all day. And but from there, I kept going. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, but I thought, well, I'll just make it up as I go along. And then a year later, I was back on TV and back in music, and it all ended well. So,
oh, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Although I have also read in true tabloid style a headline, "My Drug Hell," regarding your marijuana difficulties.
Oh, well, that was fast forward to my separation from my husband at that time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it wasn't just like musical stress. It was more like, okay,
Life.
I do have a life outside of this, and was having marital difficulties for many years through that, and did what any well-adjusted person would do, and pick up a drug habit after leaving my husband going, I've got no job, I've got no house, I've got no life, this is really horrible.
Spend some money on drugs.
So, look, I fell down a bit of a hole for about 6 months and then realised that I'd lost my music, I wasn't seeing my friends anymore, and I had an epiphany one day and went, okay, this is ridiculous. This is not the life I want for myself. And I slowly began to rebuild and rehabbed my life. Got rid of the friends that weren't real and got rid of the drugs, obviously, and changed my situation and got back on track. And now, in fact, I work in a drug recovery and wellness centre in Kyneton, and I work with people who are doing similar things all the time, and that's it reminds me of what I achieve with my life, so I'm able to share some of my experience with those people.
That's great.
But it also helps to keep me on track. So I love my work.
Yeah, that's great because you can see, so that reminds me of me, right? Like,
it's just a reminder every day of the positive things that I've done to change. So,
awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
So you were in another, like a cabaret show called Dolls, Doves and a Diva.
Yes.
Right? So you were either a doll or perhaps the diva.
I was the diva. It was with Kath Jamison, Australia's leading female lesbian magician,
awesome.
A very close friend of mine.
That sounds like a hoot. Was it awesome?
It was a hoot. It was also Kellyanne Dole, who's now like the burlesque star in Sydney and Melbourne.
Right.
And Erin Walsh, another good close friend of mine who also works in performance and burlesque. So the four of us had been friends for years and just thought, right, let's just throw a show together for the comedy festival. Yeah. We had a ball. It was great. We didn't make really any money, but we managed to break even. But we had the best time and lots of good memories. But it was a comedy singing burlesque show.
Oh, look, I wish I'd got to see it. That sounds
fun.
so good.
It was fun.
And I love a bit of magic too.
Yeah, Kath's great. She's incredibly talented.
Now, I hear you like pussycats. So, do you still have room in your house for cats since the birth of your two daughters, Zoe and Charlotte?
No. I had to make a very difficult decision. Babylon, who was the love and light of my life, my Russian blue boy, who's now 10, I was struggling just to manage, kids in the first year.
Hello.
Tough. I wasn't being a very good mother to my furry child, and I felt awful, and I had to put his needs ahead of mine, and so I ended up giving him to a very good friend of mine who loved cats, and I knew would treat him like the prince that he was and is. So he's happily living with him and in his new family, and it's sad that I am not living with him, but I'm happy that he's got a better life with someone who's got the time to spend with him. So it was hard, but I had to make the right choice for my child.
Yes, well, I think
the furry child.
That's right. Hello, and I'm sure you still get to visit him, right?
Yes, I have visitation rights whenever I want.
Awesome. So, how are you finding juggling family and work?
Good. I've got a good balance going on. I really haven't done much music for the last 3 years, and it's only been in the last year that I've started dabbling again. So I have a great work-life balance. I'm actually also a remedial massage therapist.
Yes, so I'm saying something about massage.
So, my first job is mum, my second job is massage therapist, and my third job, when I have the time, is music. So it takes up far less of my life now, but it also means then I can enjoy it a lot more.
That's good. You've got a nice balance going on.
Yeah, that's where it sits for me now.
Awesome. And so you're currently actually working with Adelaide Group, or you have been,
Evolitar.
Thank you. I knew I was going to say it wrong. So what style of music are we talking?
Evolitar is sort of a rock indie.
Cool.
They jokingly call themselves melancholic rock, which is an apt description. So Matt Cale writes these really almost depressing songs, but the music is beautiful. And they invited me to sing on one of their songs that Matt had written, but he always had an ear. He said he knew that he wasn't meant to sing it.
Yeah, okay.
And when he heard my voice on my jazz album, which he'd not come across me in Popstars at all, but came across on the Ain't Nobody's Baby album, he fell in love with my voice and said, right, that's the woman I want. So I went over to sing the one song, which was Time, on the album, and then once I'd gotten over there, they booked me for the day, and I wrapped up that song in a couple of hours or even less, and I said, well, okay, so I'm here. Is there anything else you want me to do? And he's like, I'm not sure. And anyway, long story short, I ended up singing on another 3 songs. So collaborating then on half the album. So that was a real pleasure.
Awesome. So you are out there that people can buy, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, so the Evolitar album's a bit of a slow creeper. You know, it's not going to be top of the charts. It really is a masterful album, and it's in the true sense of albums where you listen to it as a cohesive work. It's not a track-by-track album. So it is on iTunes, but I'm looking forward to performing with them at the Adelaide Fringe next year.
Awesome. I wish we could talk forever, but of course I've got to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming, Katie Underwood. And we'll see you next time and dig deeper.